So Taylor, man, I appreciate you coming in to do this push success interview. And I had a
Mhm.
few questions for you. The main one being, I remember when we first met and we first started talking, you were really hesitant on signing up for push. Let me ask you, why were you so hesitant? And then ultimately, what made you go ahead and sign up?
All right, so a little bit of backstory, and I might need you to repeat the question. So,
Okay.
I initially found you on Friday script practice with Jerome and Haza, and I know that Haza was like she was upset, and the way you came in and you were able to like you could almost see her just take a deep breath and calm down and relax a little bit. And I was like, man, like how did you do that? Like that's what like got me interested.
Hmm.
So then I was on another one and you mentioned push. And and so I was like, what's push? And and we talked about it, I think. And you said you had this program. The reason why I was so hesitant is because where I was at the time.
Hmm.
Um and again, a little bit of backstory. Um, my wife quit her job, cashed out her retirement. We sold our house, went through the proceeds of that, and we're living in like an extremely tiny rental
Hmm.
and just super tight on money. And I'll be honest, like we were down to our last 2,500. Like it was like, are we gonna really go all in on this? Like for me, it had to be worth it. If it wasn't worth it, if I didn't see the value, my wife couldn't see the value,
Right.
then it was like I couldn't do it. So we had that conversation and I was like, okay, let's try it out. Let's just see. So I paid for push and we got into it. I remember one of the things that I told you, I was like, it can't be just like a Mike Ferry script that you're just telling me to go through. And you're like, I promise you, like it won't be. So we get in there. What did I see? Mike Ferry. And I was pissed. I was like, man, this guy done suckered me in. Like
And you know it's so funny that you say that because I knew when you were saying like Mike Ferry, it doesn't even matter. Mike Ferry, Brandon, whoever script you use, you're like,
Mhm,
hey, I've done that script before. And my whole thing that I knew is that it's not about the script.
mhm,
Any script works, they all are great. It's about internalizing the script and learning
mhm.
how to make it your own. And then more importantly, how to ask questions throughout the script to pull out the information you need from the seller. So I knew you would be fine. I needed you to see you would be fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. And and that's exactly what you said, asking questions to pull it out of the seller, and that's the value that I saw. You knew how to I didn't know. Before I met you, I was making calls and I think somebody hung up on me because I answered or they answered the phone and I was like, "Hi!" And they just click. Super nervous on the phones, didn't
Yeah.
even know how to do anything. So I saw the value then and and that's what made me stay and push like and keep going because you were able to ask the right questions to get the seller basically to move in the right direction.
I love that. I love that. And so, once you went through the push program, I know you were hesitant in the beginning. I think you became a believer as you were going through the program. Now,
Hmm.
here's what I know. I know that you were going on a lot of listing appointments and you were walking away without, getting them to choose you. And that was one of your biggest things. It's like, I'm getting the appointments, I'm not converting the appointments. And
Yep.
so I remember I get a message from you and you're like, I'm sitting in my car. I'm sitting in my car. And I D-ratted, like I need to trademark that. I D-ratted this listing presentation.
Uh-huh.
Talk to me about what you did and what script you used that you learned in Push that really changed the game for you.
Yeah, so just like you said, I went on a lot of listing appointments. I know one in particular, the sellers needed to think about it and I walked away and I knew I could have had it. Like they saw the value, everything. What script did I use? I got in that same position, same exact position after push. And I was sitting down with a seller. They saw the value in it. They're like, "We love this. We want to go with you." And they're like, "But we need to think about it." So one of the things that I was taught in push was, "Hey, I'm going to go out to my car for a minute, make a few phone calls. and I'll be right back. And and I did that. And it's funny, they just needed a second to
Hmm.
just say, "Hey, you good? I'm good." And literally, I think that's what the conversation was. Like, "Are you good with this?" "Yep, I'm good with this." "You are?" "Yep." "All right, let's do it." And then he was looking at the rest of my paperwork while I was out in the car. But that's what I learned in Push is just take going out to your car. And had I done that on the first listing presentation or the other one that I was talking about, I
Hmm.
think I would have gotten that one too. So it's
Got it.
those nuggets. It's not only being able to jump on the phone call and do the listing presentation, but if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have got it. Let's put it that way.
I love that. Now tell me, like, walk me through when you said that script, hey, I'm going to go out to my car and make a few phone calls. When you were walking to your car, do you remember what was going through your head?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Oh my gosh, like I did exactly what he said. They're thinking about it. Like I know they're gonna choose me." Like I was like, the first person, like when I get into my car, is gonna be D-Rad. Like I have to tell him what I'm doing. Like
Yeah.
because of him, I'm doing this. Like I knew that I was like so excited. I jumped in my car, I got on WhatsApp and I like sent you that message. And yeah, I was just like I was on cloud nine for sure.
So was I, man. I was in Maui when you called me, and I'm sitting there on the beach, right? And I'm like, I'm so pumped up for you because I know it works because I've done the script myself, and
Yeah.
I just I love that. So tell me, 10 minutes later, you make your calls, you walk
Mhm.
back into the house, and what do they say?
It's funny. I walked in the house, sat down, and it was almost funny. Like the guy smiled and he's like, "Okay, like yeah, let's do this," you know. And I was like,
Nice.
"Okay, awesome." Like
Yeah.
for him, it was a very clear like, "Let's do this."
I love it, man. I love that. I'm very proud of you. I think you know that. I tell you that enough.
Mhm.
You're
Yep.
taking action, you're coachable, you implement what you learn. You know,
Hmm.
one thing that I've been doing lately is having a lot of phone calls with people who are interested in push, and they're like, "Well, how are you different than all these other coaches that run coaching programs?" One thing that I personally believe is different about my approach is that when you join Push, you join not only the class, but you join my ecosystem. It's not
Yep.
just Push, it's morning mindset call twice a week. It's now Wednesday evening script practice and Friday script practice. Do
Yep.
you ever feel like your relationship with me was transactional where I'm like, you signed up for Push, now goodbye, I won't talk to you again? Or do you feel like you're part of the Push ecosystem?
I 100% feel like I'm part of the Push ecosystem. Earlier last year, the beginning of last year, I signed up for a coaching program, and like I'll be very straightforward. It was I'm at EXP, and the coaching
Okay.
program was for recruiting, for
Okay.
building your organization. And I remember I paid for the whole year. 2 months in, 3 months in, I was like, man, I need to switch gears. Like production, I need to ramp up production because
Mhm.
like this isn't working. Like I need to make money, you know?
Right.
And I know for the next, however many months, um, I didn't hear from the coach. It was
Hmm.
just like, okay, you're not going to help yourself, then I'm not going to reach out. I'm not going to help you. And even though I paid for the program,
Hmm.
and it just sucked to be like that felt like it was transactional. Hey, I got your money. You don't want to be here. I don't care
Yeah.
whether it was or not. I remember that you said you talked about your push ecosystem and that you're still part of push after the program, and that's held true. I have asked you questions. I mean, your WhatsApp is at least going once a week from me, minimum. Um, but the biggest thing is just staying plugged in, and
Love it.
being there for Friday script practice. That's
That's
been
right. That's
yeah.
right, man. And just continue to plug in like all the things you've learned. Every
Hmm.
day you're getting a little bit better. And I know that you see what you need to do differently in order to have the results you want. So now it's just a matter of just implementing all those things and staying plugged into script practice. So, man, I am extremely proud of you. I know that you're going to have a breakthrough year this year because
Hmm.
one thing I see with you is that you're motivated, you're coachable, you're willing to put the work in, you're willing to get feedback and figure out, hey, what could I have said differently? You're
Yep.
doing all the things, and I mentioned this to you before. not everybody who went through push with you is staying so plugged in. I'm here for everyone. They don't
Yeah.
take advantage of it, and that's okay. No judgment there. Maybe their goals and their big why isn't as big as yours.
Mhm.
However, for the people who have the why, who are doing the work, who are coachable, man, you know I'm here.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it blows me away that I think I saw someone from Push the other day on one of your calls,
Yes.
but that's the only person I've ever seen since, like, out of our whole Push program.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do have a big why. And for anybody who is considering Push, I will say this: if you have a big why,
Yeah.
then and you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to be coachable,
Mm-hmm.
do this. Like, this will work for you. But if you don't have a big why and you don't are you're not going to put in the work and you're not going to be coachable and you won't stay plugged in, I would say that this isn't for you. Like, I want to be respectful to them, and the money that they're spending. Like, if they're not going to put in the work, then don't do it.
I've even turned down people who wanted to enroll because I didn't feel that passion. I didn't feel the big why there. And I told them, I was pretty transparent. Like, this is a big investment you're making in yourself. I don't want you to just spend money to go through the process. If you're not ready yet, hold off and
Hmm.
wait. Hold off and wait. So I know those people will come back when they're ready. However, I
Yep.
just didn't want them going through the motions where they weren't willing to be coachable and do the work. So that's kind of how it plays out.
I respect that. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm not here to pressure you into doing something you don't want to. I'm here to give you the information you want and let you make the best decision for you and your family.
You got that script down. And can I tell you what a powerful script that you can use in so many different situations?
Hmm.
And it really works because it takes that pressure off of people. Like, I'm not here to pressure you. This is all you need to know. Whatever you decide, I'm okay with. It's such a powerful script.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
I
All right.
like it.
All
And
right.
and I find myself so often using your scripts. I referred to an agent down in gosh, Santa Cruz. $2.6 million listing, referred it. And she's like, "Hey, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Like, what do I do? What do I do?" And I was like, that has the seller ghosted me. And I was like, "Hey, look, I understand how you could feel that way. I felt that way. I felt the same way. And what I found out was that she doesn't ghost you. She just gets back to you when she's ready, the seller.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the feel felt found. Like,
Yep.
dude, so much of what I'm all about right now
Yeah.
is because of you, because of Push. And so that I will be forever grateful to you
Man,
for.
I appreciate that, man. And
Yeah.
listen, I know you're in California, and I always give you credit for waking up super early and getting on these calls so you can continue learning and practicing. I
Yep.
kind of created that 5 p.m. script practice with you and other agents on the West Coast in mind because I know that's early, right? And
Hmm.
so now that I have this 5 p.m., that's 2 p.m. On the West Coast. So I know that I'll get more people, in California and other places on the West Coast to actually join. So that'll give you more opportunities to script practice with people who are in your area as well.
Yep. Yep.
Spread the
And I'm
word for
looking,
me, man. Spread the word.
you know it, I will. Yeah. And that's
Appreciate
what
you.
I'm looking forward to, is just uh being closer, being in that circle, staying plugged in, script practice more often so that I can just keep going, pick it up more and more and more.
Yeah.
And the thing of like, I want to just say as like a kind of a last thing
Uh huh.
is, I feel like I heard Kobe say it once. Um, Fall in love with the basics, you know, and just keep doing that. Like, and that's what I think what he built his whole career off of, is the fundamentals. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I feel like this is. Push push is a start to that, but staying plugged in is like, exercising that muscle, and you know really getting the dialogue and just working out. Does that make
Back
sense?
back to the basics, man. Because when the market started shifting, everybody started saying, "Hey, we got to get back to the basics: script practice, lead gen." And I'm like, whoever gave you permission to get away from the basics? You that's something you always should be working on. So it's my wheelhouse. I don't talk about things I don't know about. I know about the basics, which is learning what to say, how to say it, when to say it, and that's what push is all about. Man, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this time today just to go through and talk. And thank you for being transparent. And more
Yeah,
important, thank you for being coachable. Let's make this year what you want it to be. Let's have a great year.
let's do it.
All
I
right, man.
appreciate it. Thanks, you,
Appreciate
Radney.
you.
All right.
So that was easy. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a conversation, man.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You should have saw when I first started doing like calls like this, man. I was so bad and so nervous and just like not used to being on camera and talking. And over the years, man, it just gets easier and easier to do.
You know what? That's what I'm learning from you is like just do it scared, like
Hmm.
it'll get better, you know.
Yep,
Hit the gas pedal and then steer as opposed to steering and then trying to hit the gas pedal when you think you're in the right direction.
that's right. That's right.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. I'm got to get on with GoDaddy and figure out what's going on with this website. And then my dog, man, he looks so bored. I'm gonna take him for a little hike, get him out the house for
Nice.
a little bit before I come in and get some more work done. But thank you, man. I appreciate you and keep making it happen.
All right, we'll do, man. I appreciate you.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
talk soon.
All right.
All right, bye.